Hey guys, welcome back to Sekiro, Shadows Died Twice. Well, that was a bit of a boss fight, wasn't it, in the last episode. We've got two more coming up. But like I said, I did a little bit of looking up of items that you may have missed and that kind of stuff before the next playthrough. And the only thing really is I think I found where the prayer bead that I missed is. So let's go and get that. It is in Ashina Castle, and I think we want to go antechamber as opposed to uncle chamber. So let's get over there, shall we? I'm a wee bit knackered today, so we'll see how this these fights go. There's, like I say, we're just about at the final boss, and if memory serves correct, it is a bit of a pain in the ass, or at least, yeah. Well, you'll see. We're almost there, aren't we? So, I think this is going to be near impossible not to let in because of all this stuff on the floor here. So we're just going to have to be quick. So there's a hidden door in this place that I completely missed, and I think it's through there. So wait while these guys have fought. We've obviously been here before when these guys have been fighting. We have to be careful here actually, because if they break these walls, then we'll get seen straight away. Okay, so last time they kind of came back to the corner here, and we used ninjutsu, the blood smoke one, to take them both out pretty quick. Is it behind here? There you go, there she is. Yeah, remember, so there's an item here, and then the chest is the last prayer bead. So that should be all of them. We won't get an achievement, so I think I've already got all of them on my first playthrough, so... but, like I say, that'll allow us to make the last necklace and have all of the upgrades for vitality and vitality and what's the posture. That's the one. So fine. Yeah, just saying. I was looking in the description of it to see whether it was the last one, and the actual name of it is Final Prayer Necklace. So there you go. Okay, so unless I don't think we have money, do we? We don't have very little, and we've got one light coin purse. We can buy one of the we can buy one of the Divine Convey items, and then I think go straight to the boss. I don't think there's anything else we need to do in terms of NPCs. We might go see. I think we finished up in the thingy temple last time, didn't we? Oh, Dragon Rot. We need to heal all the Dragon Rot because everyone's dying. Because of all the times that I died when I was fighting. What was his name? And like magic, he's back to normal. And I want to also see if there's anything in this box now. Dang it. It might be worth just searching the offering box, just to see if we can. It's not going to be worth selling one, is it? Just buy one more, please. I still like to have more, but at least we got some for next playthrough. That's the only thing. We can't buy it again when the game starts next time. I am tempted to do some farming just to. But that takes time. It will get me into the swing of the combat though, won't it? So maybe just another couple of runs. My apologies. Last thing I want to do is bore anybody watching. But if you watched any of the cat scared the life out of me then. If you watched any of the the end of the last the 2 hours that I was fighting what's his name, demon of rage or hatred or whatever. Oh, we didn't want to drop down there really. You know what, I'm gonna full on just want to start. I always want to start this run right. Start as you mean to go on. We don't really need items so much as money, do we? So I'm just going to use the balloon wealth. Oh, rub it. No, no. Bad Sekiro. See, they're going to be all coming back down by the time we... No, remember, go up first, kill the pan lady. That's another 2 right there. We didn't get the extra money from him, but oh well. And there might be a little bit over here from this guy as well. racking up the oil. Alright, so we'll maybe do another couple of them and then we'll go fight the boss. Ah, that was terrible. Good there, split up. Ah! Gee, dang it. Oh no. Ah, I thought I'd make it. Not going quite as smoothly this time. Oh, they're going to be done as well by the time we... Oh, where's the other guy gone? Oh, heck. Oh, I've already lost my buff, okay. Where's the other one? Aha. She's coming back this way. It's a shame, isn't it? He was such a legend, that guy. What a guy. Now he's gone. Okay, one more time, and then we go fight the boss. There you go, that's the way to do it. Oh, what? Yeah, here we go. I'm almost seeing the challenge now is can you get them all before the buff runs out. I think that's asking a lot, to be honest, but... Ow. What? I dodged into that. I might be able to get another skill as well. That's pretty cool. We might be able to get more upgrades, but I kind of just want to buy it because we're going to get the upgrades anyway in the next playthrough. So I kind of just want to spend it all on Flames of Hatred. Oof. Some bad times, but good times. Well, good time, bad times. Okay. I haven't messed you about for too long. 20 minutes, and then we'll be. We'll just buy this stuff and then we'll be in for the fight. Nice. See if we can spend the skill points. In fact, we could even go up an attack level, because we don't need to spend any skill points. That might be worthwhile. Ah, how many do you need? Oh, I don't want to test it, let's just... Oh, I wanted projected force, didn't I? Oh. Would you look at that? Okay, so now when we use the umbrella we should be able to tank the damage and then give it back with a... There you go, look at that, wow. So let's travel to Near secret passage, and we're getting some start of the game vibes. Like I say, I don't expect to beat this on the first try. It's probably going to take a little while to remember all the attacks and how I'm supposed to react to them. But anyway, I'll see you at the end. Try to RP walk, I'm messing it up. Second-rate YouTuber.
Kuro-sama. 久しいな、巫女の忍び。見よ、不思議りのもう一振りよ。
健一郎殿。そのようなものでは決してアシナの命運は変わりませぬ。狼よ、流因など誰の手にもあるべきではないのだ。苦労をかけるな。
行為参る。ああ、しまいとしよう。俺がアシナを生かす。何もできなかった。だが流因がこの国を生かす。 てアシナの世は明ける。哀れな孫の最後の願いじゃ。わしはこのアシナをよみがえらせねばならぬ。故に赤炉主を切るぞ。参れ赤炉。
Hesitation is defeat. Yeah, you're right there. There is one other thing that I just remembered that I forgot. I don't think it's very important, but I think we should go check it out anyway, just before we try this again. Ishin is a very difficult fight, but I don't think it's in the same league as what's his name, Demon of Hate or Rage or whatever. The sculptor, basically. We won Abandoned Dungeon. I just want to, by this point in the game, I don't know if this guy's become hostile to us or whatever, because we didn't do his quest. We're going to do it on the next one. I'll just come back for a little while. Hello. But I wonder if, with him potentially becoming hostile, I wonder if we fight him and get an item, or if he's still just there. Just there. Let's just kill him. No, we don't get anything from that. Okay. Because there was something that happened over here, like a more difficult enemy spawns here now or something, but I don't think that's the case. It does look like I missed an item here. It's probably not important, but Yeah, I think we need to do that guy's quest for it to, for all that to happen, but... Although there's something... Oh no, it's a fish or something probably. Okay. Well, I feel better for checking that out anyway. Like I said, it's only a quick little aside. We'll get back to fighting, you know who, Ishin, and if you notice as well, it's a younger Ishin in his prime, back when Ashina was like, you know, kicking ass and fighting crime. Now I don't know if we have to fight Genichiro every time, or if after the first time it's just Ishin. I can't remember. They sometimes do that, and I think they do that with one or two bosses, but I can't remember if this is one of them. But we'll soon find out. I think you do have to fight him every time, but it just becomes a matter of he's a lot easier than Ishin, obviously. We already know half of his moveset. Yeah, okay. Oh, for God's sake. I dodged. Maybe too late. This is not boding well. There's no way I'm beating Ishin with six heals. He's got 3 phases if you look to the top left when he spawns. Sekiro. I need to learn the difference between his thrust attack and the sweep. And I need to know how to dodge that. Oh, do we take damage even if we block that? Okay. Oh, I'm out of heals. Okay. Okay. Whoosh. This is a lot more enjoyable than the Demon of Hatred fight anyway, even if it does take the same amount of time, because it's learning a sword fight rather than learning how the hell do you dodge this massive thing that's spurting fire and ridiculousness. I think that's probably why I prefer, well, at the moment anyway, I'm sure things can change, but it's probably why I prefer Sekiro to Dark Souls, like I say, at least at the moment, just because I'm wondering, shall I take the we can maybe even use the no we're not using the Phantom, can I? Yeah, just because it's a lot more kind of sword fighting and parrying and that kind of stuff, and less of the whole monsters, demons kind of thing, which is great. But I don't know. I think I've played a lot of those games, so it's nice to have a change. Nope.
Sekiro!
I thought he was going to do the one I could. Oh, my days. I can't really remember how I went about fighting him the first time. If I actually tried to fight him properly, or if I used some form of kind of run away and use certain attacks to do damage, kind of a thing. Either way, don't really matter too much. Oh, I did it too early. God damn it. Oh, then I thought he was going to do the sweep. Oh my days. Not going well, is it? Oh, it's a grab. Idiot.
Sekiro!
What? Okay. Fair enough, I suppose. Ugh. I'm getting to know a couple of the attacks, but it's really difficult to tell at the moment which of the perilous attacks, you know, the ones that you can't block, which of those is coming when it is, because it's so quick. Good lord, I tried. So you see things get more complicated. God, I remember so little of phase 2 and 3. Well, to be honest, I don't remember much of any of it, but so we've got to phase 3 there anyway. Still not confident at all about phase 1, but we'll get there slowly but surely. At least this time we're kind of starting the boss at the start of the app rather than 2 hours in. I think when he does that, I go forward too quick. I did it last time as well. Good heavens. Heavens to Betsy. When you can't even get past the first, like, easy boss before the... But yeah. I'll shut up and concentrate, or at least try. So when he sheathes his sword like that, he can. There's two different attacks that he can do. He can either do like a double swipe, which seem to take damage on a lot. I think you've got to perfect block it for it not to damage you. And then there's there's one where he does like a praying strike, like a punch or like elbow or something, followed by a sweep. So I'm struggling to tell the difference between those two at the moment, but there will be a tell. I'll get there. And again, I don't like when he does. He's got that attack as well, where he does the slam down. If you block that, then he'll either do a thrust attack or a sweep. Again, I'm struggling to tell which way. So I keep jumping the one that I should be Makiriing and the other way around. So what does seem to work with that overhead slam though is if you dodge to the side, you can get some damage in, and he won't do the follow-up attack. So I think I need to train myself to do that when he does that. So lots to learn. Oh, too early again on that every time.
Sekiro!
The reason why I was like running around in in circles that like the first time I got to the last phase was because I just kind of want to check out the attacks that he's doing. I tried to face him that time and it didn't go too well.
俺がアシナを生かす。その力。 参れ、関野。
that's the danger with running around on this stage. Oh my days. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. It's better. And I think the thing is, once you learn the second stage, I'm pretty sure the last stage is similar. It's obviously harder, but it's similar. I think lightning's involved more often in the last stage. But generally lightning can be good, because obviously you can use it to output a lot of damage. Let me just see if there isn't anything I should be using. I like to just use basic stuff so that I know that when I beat him, it's through learning the fight rather than cheating it in any way. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff we could use. I should be using sugars more often, really. We could maybe do an Ungo sugar at the start of the first phase just to help out with their vitality loss. Again, they're too slow on that. I mean, too quick. I even thought then wait, and I still pressed it. Still pressed it too early. Oh man.
足名を生かす。その力だ。参れ、関。限ってきた。行くぞ、セキロ。
I think maybe when he does that charges for that sweep, I should just use the umbrella potentially, and then I could just do an attack out of that. The rest of it is actually not as bad as I was thinking. I was trying to avoid stuff more than just blocking the attacks. You gotta be super observant to where the attacking arm is, and because he's got a sword and a spear at that moment. Yeah, good times. waited long enough. Oh my god.
その力だ。
参れ関。
totally reflected that back. I swear that doesn't work sometimes. Okay, that one I didn't do. That one I failed at. But the first time I swear I jumped and then hit attack on my way back down. I don't get it. That happened loads of times with which is the fight? Is Genichiro the only one that does lightning? No, with the dragon, the lightning attack like got all messed up on loads of tries. I don't know why. Like I'd get it, I'd be in the air, I'd hit attack. In fact, I'd hit attack 1,000,000 times and then still nothing. Okay. We got phase 3 though. Phase 3.
Sekiro!
Oh dear. didn't jump. I swear on my life that I pressed jump there, but it just didn't. I don't know. There's no like shortage to when you can jump. Like you don't. Like I don't know. Unless the only time is when your posture's broken, but you get at that point you get one like dodge roll. But my posture wasn't broken then. Anyway, might need to. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna plug one of these in. It's got no excuses then, has it? I mean, I know the PS4's an old console at this point. I mean, it's the Pro, but it's still an old one. Like, the PS5's just coming out, and so it's, input lag is a thing when the frame rate is low, and I imagine the frame rate is quite low at that point, but anyway, whatever. Just need to get good. Huh?
Sekiro!
Why didn't that work? You saw me jump. You saw it, you know. I just don't get it.
Sekiro. さらば。
Okay, so just turn my monitor back on here. I turned the my monitoring monitor off just to so that it wasn't a distraction during that fight, and I think I might be like way off camera at the moment. Just twist it back in a bit. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it's like any Souls fight. It's like all of the fights in this game. It's you need to learn the enemy attacks and timings, and your counters, and when you can deal damage, and when you need to be countering. For that fight, actually, the majority of the time you need to be deflecting. There's only a little. The only time you want to attack first is if he stops attacking, and his posture's and he's recovering his posture. Then you want to attack to get him to attack so that you can deflect, so that you can build his posture up more. There's not that many. There aren't that many chances to deal damage, as far as like a normal player is concerned. I don't know if you're really amazing. I guess there's lots of chance to deal damage, but if you're an amazing player, you wouldn't even need to, because you'd deflect everything perfectly, and then the fight would be over within seconds. So the only difference between these late game fights and the early game fights are probably speed, variety of attacks, and the output of the attacks. So early on, the enemies either are slow enough or predictable enough, or do a little enough amount of damage that getting hit a few times and making mistakes isn't the end of your life, and so you can kind of you might have to heal a few times, but you get to the end of it no problem. Whereas late game fights like this, obviously the amount of damage that they're outputting at the speed at which they're doing, then if you make a few mistakes, that's it. So it's if you don't know the attack patterns, I mean, there's cheese strategies for all of the bosses in Sekiro. There's ways of making it easier, definitely. There's some that are ways of making it not even a fight at all for certain bosses, but then you take all the fun out of the game, because when you do what I did there, which is what about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, something like that. So it's not like a ridiculous amount of time, but of like falling down at like first I was dying to Genichida all the time, then I was dying to the first phase all the time, then I was dying to the second phase all the time, then I got to the third. I did get to the third phase twice. So by the time I got to the third phase, I knew the fight pretty well, but then obviously there were some surprises in the third phase, and I wasn't sure. But that time I was just like determined to just carry on playing exactly the way I've been playing in the previous phase. Try and improvise any new attacks, because he did have longer versions of the same attacks and a few new attacks as well as the lightning. So just try and improvise your way through that, and you're already kind of in the swing of his timings because you've been fighting him on the first couple of phases. And then watch out for that lightning. And the thing I got salty about was obviously I was thinking that I was pressing jump and I wasn't. So maybe I'd pressed jump and I was already dodging or already defending, or something else had overridden the jump. Maybe I didn't press it in time. Maybe there was a problem with frames or something like that. You know, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, you're gonna get, when there's that much stuff going on that quickly, you know, it's hard to say afterwards. But definitely there are a few times where I felt like I'd jumped to meet the lightning, and in that fight there was a time where I did jump, I connected with the lightning. I assure you I pressed attack a few times on my way back down. Maybe you need to do it just like once as you're hitting the ground. Maybe that's the key to it, but anyway, I'm not sure. Like when you do a roll in Dark Souls, so like if you drop from a height in Dark Souls and roll the second that you touch the floor, you avoid taking as much damage from the fall. Just like in this game, if you go into crouch as soon as you hit the ground, you make less noise and you're less likely to be detected from the impact of the jump. But anyway, still, like, salt aside, it is a really fun fight, that one, because it if you're at a level like I am, whereas we've leveled up pretty well, we've done the majority of the stuff that you can do in a playthrough, if you're at this kind of a level, then you need to be pressuring this boss, because otherwise his posture just comes back. Like, as you saw when I was first like working his moves out, I'd get him quite close a couple of times in like the first phase or whatever to get him breaking his posture, but then all of a sudden I'd take loads of damage, I'd have to go away and heal, and by the time I come back to him he's recovered all his posture and you basically have to start again. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, there's just like loads of people have talked about this on YouTube and whatever, but there's just this kind of like the satisfaction from like a good From Software boss, like that challenge and overcoming it. I don't know, it just feels so different to any other kind of like obstacles and hurdles in games coming up to this point, even stuff that I've really enjoyed, and like what and I don't know, it kind of ruins other games because it's so good. But anyway, so memory, Saint Ishin, the battle memory of an extraordinary foe lingering in the mind of the wolf. Yep, we know about this. At his peak, Ishin Ashina devoted himself... No, let's try that again. At his peak, Ishin Ashina devoted himself to deadly conflict in pursuit of strength, a single-minded killing machine of a man. Yeah. And from killing him there, we get the Dragon Flash skill. So, combat art that performs a high-speed cut from a sheath stance, charged to send out shockwaves, cause spirit emblems to use. In his younger years, Ishin was a devil with the sword, spending his days in pursuit of life or death combat. He often ruminated on how a cut should be made, but his blade always moved first. Okay. Gauntlet of Strength. Oh, it's going to tell us about this now. So that's just like a boss run. There's several boss runs. So we've got the Divine Air Path. Excellent. And we've got the Seventh Path. Excellent. Okay. So that's the end of the game right there. Before we do it, I'm just going to go back to the idle here. Rest, upgrade, and yeah. And then we'll come back and finish it. Can you imagine? Rest and then the boss respawns. So Gauntlet of Strength menu. So yeah, that's the boss runs that we can now do. So we've got 2 of them. So you have to beat 3 bosses without dying. So there we've got. You can rest in between, so you can get your full heals back. But if you die once, you've got to start again. So Gyobu Aniwa, that should be quite easy. Lady Butterfly. Lady Butterfly. Lady Butterfly, yeah. That it depends. The first time on my first playthrough, I absolutely walked that fight, but as you saw on this one, I kind of struggled a little bit. And then I don't know what comes after that. And then the next one, this looks like a tough one. Oh, you know, Guardian Ape, followed by Owl, followed by True Monk, followed by Genichiro, followed by something else. Jeez, that looks tough. Yep, so let's enhance his attack power anyway. Confront this memory. So, Saint Ishin, one who returns from the great beyond does so at the peak of their prosperity. Ishin coveted strength and all manner of techniques throughout his mortal struggle. He wished for war until his final hour, and that is precisely what he got. So I wonder, so it says one who returns from the great beyond does so at the peak of their prosperity. So that would suggest that anyone who would come back from the great beyond would come back at the peak of their prosperity, at the peak of their life, or you know, whenever the best time in their life, I guess. Which is interesting, unless it's like something subtle in the translation that's been lost. But anyway, enough of that. Let's finish the game here. So we if you remember, we have we've got three options here. We can kill Kudo. We can take the dragon rot ourselves, or we take the thing ourselves and then kill ourselves, or we can send the dragon back home. So to send the dragon back home, we're going to need to use the frozen tears from the divine child and the dragon tears as well. Okay, so let's go save Kudo.
おそばにおります。竜の涙。参りましょう、我が巫女。
九郎殿、今はどうか安らかに私の心にとどまってください。さようなら、みんな。私は行かねばなりません。我らの因果を断ち切るために。とても長い旅になります。それでも共に来てくださるのですか？
はい。
ありがとう、竜の忍びよ。九郎殿も喜んでおります。 参りましょう。西に神なる竜の故郷に。
So what can I say, really? I mean, it's just incredible. Like, it kind of speaks somewhat to the quality of the game in that I think it's the only like full-length game on the channel that I've literally played from start to finish without doing any other titles in between, any other gaming, and still been kind of pumped for it at the end. You know, I'm just going to take these off because that music's pretty loud. But yeah, like, to have such good combat and to also have a decent story and like interesting characters. The writing seems spot on. Obviously we can't really tell what the Japanese writing's like. But I mean, they've done an amazing job on the translation anyway. Looks fantastic, and I still can't deal with the what you call it, with the English character voices. Maybe if you never experienced the Japanese ones, then it's absolutely fine. But to go from the voices that are new to the English voices, it just didn't work. It's like anything. It's like they replaced the voice of a character in your favourite TV show or something with somebody else. It's not going to work. But yeah, incredible stuff. And but we're not finished yet. We've still got New Game Plus. There's two other endings, obviously, that come from that exact point that we were at, because we had two other choices, and that pretty much boils down to a different cutscene at the end, and I think you might get a different combat art or something by going down a certain path, by like making one of the other choices. So I'm not sure if I'm going to play those two endings on the channel because the rest of the game's the same. The reason why I kind of got all the items for both of the endings was so that you can kind of see where that comes to. So what I'll probably do is we'll get to the fourth ending, which is which you kind of kickstart that immersion when you fight Owl for the first time. I'll say no more, not to spoil any surprises, but yeah. So we'll probably get that and get the fourth ending, and then as and when I'm replaying it myself, because I haven't got the other two, any of the other endings. That's the one that you see there is the only one that I've seen. So as I'm kind of playing it in my spare time, I'll get to the other two endings using the same save, the same playthrough, after we've done the alternative one, and then I'll just put I should be able to put like every ending kind of a thing together. I might just present it and say, this is part of the playthrough that I was doing for the channel, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, like I say, man, I'm just, to be quite honest, I'm enjoying this more than any other FromSoft game at the moment. But that is probably because I've played Dark Souls and Bloodborne to death. I would love to get a PS5 and play Demon's Soul Remastered, but I can't justify the £450 plus £70 for the game. Yeah, I really can't justify that, not when I've got this sick PC right here. But there was a leaked screenshot, wasn't there, that said something about Demon's Soul Remaster coming to PC. So I wonder if they're doing a bit of a cheeky kind of saying it's a PS4 exclusive, then a year later, or PS5 exclusive, and then a year later releasing it on PC as well. I mean, obviously that'd be ideal for me, because I've no real reason to get a PS5. Don't get me wrong, the load times are great, and and to just have a separate dedicated machine for like 4K gaming is pretty sick. But I mean, this PC can do 4K gaming at 60 FPS, no sweat, not a problem. Obviously different results with different games and that, but you'll find that on the console as well. But yeah, there is one game coming up within that will arrive reasonably soon. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just gonna start playing it when I get it. That I'm very excited for. Oh, well, look at that! The font software used in this game is licensed by Morris. Oh, I thought it was going to tell me about the because it's a cool font that they use. But anyway, I think that's. I don't think there's another video. Start playthrough number 2 now. If you choose not to start playthrough number 2 now, you may do so by. Right, I'm gonna say no, and then off camera, what I'm probably gonna do is like farm up an absolute ton of divine confetti, so that I can just like use it at will, if I'm on a difficult boss, just to try and get it over with, kind of a thing. So I'm gonna say no. And then, like I say, when I've got a free minute, I'll do some farming, and then I'll get back onto playthrough number 2, which should go pretty quickly, to be honest. To get to there is not too far, and then I just need to learn 2 new bosses. So another's memory, Ashina. Memories left behind by another. Concentrate on these inmost regrets or obsessions that a sculptor's idol to change the wolf's appearance has no effect on ability. The memory of a shinobi that once served Ashina is accompanied by a debt of gratitude to the one who took his arm and graced him with the name Sekiro. Okay, we get it. So, we should be able to change our appearance, I guess. Change form. Wow, look at all these options now. I'm not even going to know. Already it takes me ages to pick the right one. Okay, yeah, so we get different appearances. So we can now look like... so this is what Sekiro used to look like, apparently. So the sculptor, when he was back in his prime. That's pretty cool. And they've only just added this in the boss runs in a recent patch, and there's a new combat art that's supposedly amazing as well. So it brings us, if you choose not to start the new playthrough, it brings you back, and the world state is the same as just before the battle. I don't know what happens if you go up there, go up to the battle again. I don't think you can do anything. I think it's just empty. But yeah. So that's Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, or at least one of the endings. Incredible. It's a joy to play. So as ever, thanks for joining us on this crazy journey to fictional feudal Japan, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one when we're doing New Game Plus. Alright, see you in a bit. Bye.